Today on Folk Alley, we're visiting with Jessica Lea Mayfield. I'm Jeff St. Clair. Thanks for coming along today.
Oh, well, thank you.
You've been called indie, country, folk, rock, soul, ambient. There's like a whole paragraph to try and describe your music.
Yes.
How do you feel about people who write about music coming at trying to describe it? And what would you call it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if they can find a way to describe it, that's great, because I have a really hard time, People are always like, what kind of music do you play? I'm like, I don't know. It's like so many different influences. So, I mean, just as long as I'm not getting pushed into one, mainstream category, then I'm comfortable with it. Just as long as someone's like, well, she plays this, and that's, like, she plays bluegrass or something, and it's like, well, I don't feel like I'm one genre of, music.
Yeah, everyone's trying to categorize. That's everything, but
that's the way it is. It's everybody people need some way to understand if they're gonna like it or not. People who like different genres of music, they're not even gonna listen to me if they don't know what I am. So if somebody's talking about me, they need to kind of explain me a little bit, I guess. But yeah, I'd prefer not to be categorized. But it has to be that way.
Well, you do have a background in bluegrass.
Yes.
And we'll get to that a little bit later, because I do want to talk about that. But most recently, you've toured with another band that people have a hard time describing, the Avett Brothers.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, they're really good friends of mine now, but I met them about 3 years ago at the Kent stage, and I had opened for them, and that was my first time hearing them and their first time hearing me. And after their show, we had talked, and they loved my music and I loved their music. And we didn't talk that much more. And then we played another show together in Scotttown, Ohio. And we exchanged numbers and talked some more. And, Scott Avett had said he wanted me to do some shows with them. And that's how that came about. And I did, a couple shows by myself, solo, opening for them, and, like 3 at a time. And went and did these little runs with them. And then I started doing, I got my band together, and we did a big tour, out west from, started in Arizona and ended in Vancouver, which was just a lot of fun. And I don't know, they're like brothers to me. They're like family. They're
You're
great guys.
one of the Avett sisters, I guess.
Yes.
Well, not that long ago, you were playing in little clubs in Ohio, and here now you are on the cover of the Rolling Stone. I mean,
I'm not on the cover.
Not quite, but you're gaining a lot of attention in a very short amount of time. I just wanted to ask you, how does it feel to be in this sort of pace, this pace of change in the beginning of your career?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really notice it so much as everyone else does. It seems like everyone's telling me what's going on with me a lot. Everybody's like, oh, you're doing this, that's so great. You're doing that, it's so great. But it doesn't feel like things are all that much different. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a huge change to me. I guess people who know me see, these different things happening, and they think it's, but for me, it's like, it's really cool, these things I'm getting to do, but it's just kind of like, I'm playing a show tonight, and it's like, oh, well, everybody thinks it's a big deal, because it's in another state, and it's like, it is a bigger deal, but it doesn't affect me as much, I guess, as it does everyone else. Do
you still have time to be writing?
Yes, I mean I write a lot, and you always find time for that. It's just one of my main thing that I do. If somebody asks me, well, I don't really do anything else. I've never had a day job. Never, I write songs.
Well, I'd like to hear something. Maybe you can. If you have something new, I know you have a new album coming out.
Yes, I can play a song off the new album, We've Never Lied.
Anything you want to tell us about it?
Anything? Well, no.
Let it speak for itself. Jessica Lea Mayfield.
Kiss me like you love me, I'll pretend we've never lied, 'cause we both have our demons crawling I talk to whoever I goddamn wanna. Oh, I talk to whoever I wanna. Oh, the world is moving fast, but I hardly move at all. I'm standing here beside you with my back against the wall, and I kiss you like I want you to kiss me, and I talk to whoever I goddamn wanna. Oh, I talk to whoever I wanna. Baby, I see it's going nowhere. I'm happier when I'm alone, oh dear. Don't look at me like that. Kiss me like you love me. I'll pretend we've never lied.
We're visiting with Jessica Lea Mayfield here on folkalley.com. You have a long tradition with playing bluegrass,
Yes.
starting when you were how old?
8 years old, with my mom and dad and my brother and my sister at the time. We all had a family bluegrass band called One Way Rider, and I just remember they would always practice in the living room, and I would come and I would start singing the songs my mom would sing, and I'd be like, I want to sing that song, Mom, I want to sing it. And so they would let me get up and sing a few with them, and then eventually by the time I was 11, I was on stage for the whole set, and that's how that got started. But
A lot of the bluegrass music is very gospel oriented. You're calling your music in some ways with blasphemy so heartfelt.
yes, well, I love gospel music. I'm not necessarily, those aren't my beliefs. I don't share those beliefs, but I do love gospel music. So with the family band, playing gospel and singing like the quartets is really fun for me. But I do feel like I'm pretty blasphemous, on my own. But that's just it's my own beliefs, and I don't think it should matter with the music.
Your parents come to your shows?
Yes. They're fine with it. Doesn't cause too much of a problem really with anyone.
A lot of people writing songs today come from a pop tradition, but you, like you said, you come from a bluegrass tradition. How has that affected the way that you write the song in terms of the way you use the lyrics, or the way the hook comes, or how you approach it?
I feel like I don't feel like it really has. It really has made me different than most people, or it just feels like I'm a little bit different because I listen to a lot of bluegrass, but I also listen to a lot of like rock bands, and like I loved the Foo Fighters and things like that. So it's like I would listen to that kind of music, and I would feel inspired to write songs, but then I would write like this song with kind of rock band lyrics almost, but then it would always be to the G, C, and D, folk kind of bluegrass chord progression, and I guess that's called Americana. I discovered, but so people were calling me Americana. I was like, well, I don't really know. I'm just kind of writing these songs, but I played them, you know, bluegrass, like the chords and the guitar would be bluegrass, but the lyrics would be more something else, and so definitely it's more musically the bluegrass, where the bluegrass comes from, I would say.
What do you love about bluegrass?
Oh, I don't know. I think that I was just discussing this with my brother the other day, and about how there's no other genre of music where people can come together like they can with bluegrass. Like, you know, they don't have like, you know, death metal jams at, you know, the, you know, local bar, the local club, you know, but it's like, they're having a bluegrass jam tonight, you know, we can all just go and jam and hang out, and it brings you together, it brings people together, and, you know, families and friends, and that's one thing that I really love about it is.
Well, literally.
It's unlike anything.
Because you have one mic.
Yeah, it's unlike any other genre. It really is.
Do you see yourself continuing doing bluegrass, even as you were going one direction?
You know, not at all. I see myself kind of doing my own thing. That's kind of, you know, bluegrass inspired. I definitely don't see myself fitting in a bluegrass scene. I feel myself kind of, you know, watching the scene and enjoying it from you know, the sidelines, but I don't see myself, you know, touring bluegrass festivals and, you know, playing with a bluegrass band. I really don't see that as my calling at all.
I'd like to hear another song, and maybe if you can choose one that has a little bit of that, you know, where you can draw up some of your roots.
Well, that'd be the one that has the most of that would be For Today.
Okay, let's hear it from Jessica Lea Mayfield.
I was walking with your left hand in my back pocket, and I stared at the sky while you kissed me, and you were running away from everything, and I stayed behind so you'd miss me. Sounds so sweet. I could care less about you, care less about you, and I love the sound of you walking away, and I can see clearer, closer to finding out just who I am without you in the way. So hold me, but only for today. Ambitions to get into the worst situations, but here I am, crystal clean, and all the nights so lonely, the words I say to you are phony, because there's nothing left to say. I could care less about you, care less about you, and I love the
Jessica Lea Mayfield. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Is that the guitar you use on stage?
Yes, this guitar was actually my dad's engagement ring to my mom. It's old.
It is old. An old jangly Gibson.
Yes, it is. It doesn't sound all that great, but
Well, I don't know. It sort of sets the tone.
yes, I love it. I love it to death. People always ask me, what I think of this guitar, and it's, I love it. It's a lot of people have trouble playing it, but it's I think I've warped my hands to play this old Gibson.
Yeah, some instruments just come to life with certain people. You had a nickname.
Yes.
And your first CD came out, White Lies, under the name Chitlin.
Yes.
And all the old One-Way Riders albums, you're known as Chitlin, but now you're Jessica Lea Mayfield.
Yes. Well, I decided to change my name back to my name. Yes. So it's just one of those things where it was. I mean, nicknames are fun, and they're and it's. But I felt like it's part of the process of kind of growing up a little bit too, and taking it on. And it's, I don't know, it's just so confusing having two different names, It's like you write your checks out and then you sign your autograph and it's two different names, and it's just, it's tiring. It's too much brain work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now everything's the same.
I didn't really know your real name until I saw your MySpace page.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people didn't. It's really funny how a lot of people, like, I would have friends and, I'd known someone for 5 years and they'd be like, "Who's Jessica?" I'd be like, "Yeah, it's me." They're like, "Oh, really?" It's like, it's surprising, you'd think, your friends would know your name, but.
So in a lot of ways, you are stepping into a new skin in this part of your career. You toured with the Avett Brothers, and then you're working with the Black Keys, another group from Ohio.
Yes.
How's that?
Good, it's like, I don't know, he's really talented, and he did a lot of really great stuff on this CD that's about to come out in September, and that's going to be called With Blasphemy So Heartfelt, and he was just so creative, his mind.
You're talking about Dan?
Yeah, Dan. He produced it. Dan Auerbach produced the new CD, and it's just so, like, his ideas were so different from mine, but how different they were, like, it really just, it clashed and worked in, like, the perfect way. It's just so, I don't know, it's just his ideas were so amazing to me.
Is he trying to move you in a different direction, or kind of staying?
No, I don't know necessarily if anyone's trying to move me. I think I'm moving in a direction on my own, I think with every song I write, with everything I do, it's always gonna to move in a little bit of a different direction. It's always gonna be just a little bit different.
You're going to be touring with the Black Keys this fall.
Yes.
And how are you looking forward to that?
It should be fun. It should be great. It's like, it's always good when you're on the road with people and friends and things like that. And like, the Avett Brothers tour was great because they're friends of mine, and so I feel like, other tours, they're fun, but it's like, it's kind of on your own, but it's really, I don't know, I'm looking forward to getting to see their live show that many nights in a row, and it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Where do you see yourself 1 year or even 5 years from now?
That's a tough one. I mean, I don't know where I see myself tomorrow, to be honest. I just want, I want so many different things in my life. I don't know necessarily where I see myself. I know where I'd like to see myself. Those could very well be two different things. But I would like to see myself just, coming out on top. I'd really like to make money and be able to, make a good amount of money, but not, I don't want to make a lot of money, and just be able to pay rent and buy groceries kind of, on a regular basis, and not have to worry, and just not, that's where I'd like to see myself, is just, playing a lot of shows too. That's one thing I cannot stand, to have nothing to do. Like, it's better to have too much on your plate than nothing at all, and I have to be busy. So it's, I really hope that in 1 year from now that I'm home 10 days out of the year, that's what I'm looking for. I want a lot of touring.
Don't you need that downtime to write?
No, not at all. I mean, I actually, I feel I get more inspiration when I'm on the road. You know, it's when you're sitting at home, when you're looking out the same window at the same tree, it's a lot harder to, you know, to come up with something new. But when you're on the road, you meet new people and you get new experiences and new ideas. And, you know, and if I come home for 10 days, then it's like I have all these things that I did on the road to write about, you know.
We'd like to hear one more if you would.
All right. This one's called Kiss Me Again. You got me where you want me, but I ain't all there. My head is gone, my brain is fried, and I'm standing right here.